Okay, think about this for a second. What's the biggest challenge you face, like day to day?
Hmm.
Not just, big work problems, but at home, with friends, maybe even just dealing with yourself.
That's a good question. Is it getting your point across or maybe feeling misunderstood?
Yeah, or just not connecting. It's super common, right? But here's the interesting part. Decades ago, someone actually dug into this.
Dale Carnegie.
Exactly. And he found some, well, surprisingly simple answers and principles that honestly still really work today.
They absolutely do. So welcome everyone to this deep dive. We're looking at the core ideas of human relations, mostly through Dale Carnegie's classic book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Now, that title, it sounds a bit, I don't know.
A little transactional, maybe?
Yeah, maybe, but we're going to show you it's not really about just winning friends in a shallow way. It's much deeper.
It really is. It's about understanding what makes people tick,
Yeah.
human nature itself. Our goal here is to pull out the practical, timeless stuff you can actually use, like right away.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Dale Carnegie, he starts out teaching public speaking. New York, 1912.
Right, helping adults get comfortable speaking, expressing ideas, pretty standard stuff.
But he noticed something else, something bigger. These adults, yeah, they needed speaking skills, but they desperately needed something else.
Which was?
Training in, and this is his phrase, the fine art of getting along with people. In everyday life, business, social stuff.
And what's really telling is he realized he needed it too. He looked at his own interactions and was, I think his word was appalled.
Appalled, wow.
Yeah, at his own frequent lack of finesse and understanding. So this wasn't some academic exercise for him. It was personal. Came straight from his own struggles.
And it wasn't just a gut feeling he had. There was actual research.
Oh, yeah.
The Carnegie Foundation and the Carnegie Institute of Technology, they did these studies, and the findings were, well, pretty shocking, especially for technical fields like engineering.
What did they find?
Get this. Only about 15% of financial success came from technical knowledge. 15.
Wow. So the other 85%?
Was down to skill in human engineering, personality, the ability to lead people. That's huge, isn't it?
It's massive. It reminds me of what John D. Rockefeller said, the oil tycoon.
What was that?
He said the ability to deal with people is a commodity, just like sugar or coffee. And I will pay more for that ability, he said, than for any other under the sun.
The highest priced ability, not knowing stuff, but relating to people, leading them.
Exactly. It's about empathy, communication, leadership, getting people to work together.
So clearly there was this huge unmet need out there, and another survey kind of proved it, right? University of Chicago, the YMCA.
Right, that $25,000 two-year study. They asked adults what they most wanted to learn.
And after basic health, number 2 was people.
Yeah. How to understand them, how to get along, how to make people like you, how to win them over to your way of thinking, all that stuff.
But there was no practical guide, no textbook for this huge need.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why Carnegie decided he had to write the book. But he didn't just, sit down and type it out.
No, he called it a living laboratory.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, he said the book grew as a child grows. It came directly out of his adult courses, from the real experiences of thousands of people trying this stuff out.
So it wasn't just theory, it was tested in the real world.
Absolutely. Principles forged in this human laboratory. And he said they work like magic. He tells the story about an employer, right? Managed over 300 people.
Okay.
Used to just drive them, criticize constantly, total hard ass. But after learning these principles, he completely changed his approach.
And what happened?
His whole company apparently with this new spirit, loyalty, enthusiasm, teamwork. People who used to avoid him started calling him by his first name. That's a massive turnaround.
Wow. That really shows the impact, doesn't it? And it wasn't just him, right? You mentioned others had similar experiences.
Yeah, loads of them. People getting promotions, marriages becoming happier. He said people were so amazed they'd call him on Sundays. Couldn't wait to share their successes.
Okay, so let's get into the first big principle from this laboratory. And it's maybe not what you'd expect.
Right. Especially today when everyone's encouraged to have strong opinions and, call things out. Principle 1 is don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
Seems simple, but maybe harder in practice.
Definitely. And Carnegie uses some really stark examples to show why. He talks about human nature's blind spot when it comes to self-awareness.
Like who?
Well, take Two Gun Crowley, infamous killer in New York, cornered by police after killing one of them.
Okay.
And he writes this note saying, Under my coat is a weary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody any harm.
Seriously.
Yeah.
After killing someone.
Yep. And even when he's going to the electric chair, he doesn't say, I messed up. He says, this is what I get for defending myself.
That's incredible. The level of self-justification.
And Al Capone, public enemy number one. He saw himself as a public benefactor, felt misunderstood, abused even.
It sounds like the warden at Sing Sing prison basically confirmed this, didn't he?
Yeah.
Saying few criminals see themselves as bad.
Exactly. It's a powerful point. 99 times out of 100, Carnegie says, people don't criticize themselves, no matter how wrong they are.
So criticism is pointless.
Worse than pointless. It's futile because it makes people defensive. They just dig in and justify themselves. And it's dangerous because it hurts their pride, their sense of importance. It breeds resentment.
Right. Like B.F. Skinner showed with animals, right?
Yep.
Rewards work way better than punishment for learning.
Yeah.
And that applies to us too.
Yeah, Hans Selye, the psychologist, said, as much as we thirst for approval, we dread condemnation. It hits deep.
Makes sense. You know, this reminds me of Abraham Lincoln's story.
Oh, yeah? How so?
Well, when he was younger, he used to be quite critical. Wrote sarcastic letters, poems, made fun of people.
Really? Lincoln?
Yeah. And it got him into trouble. In 1842, he mocked this politician, James Shields, and Shields challenged him to a duel.
A duel, seriously, over a letter.
Yep. They were actually preparing to fight with cavalry broadswords when friends intervened, but that near-death experience taught Lincoln a huge lesson.
What was the lesson?
Basically, the futility of that kind of attack. After that, he almost never criticized anyone for anything. He learned to handle people differently.
Even during the Civil War, with all those generals messing up?
Even then. Think about Gettysburg. Lee's army is defeated, trapped. Lincoln sees this golden chance to end the war, orders General Meade to attack.
But Meade waits?
He hesitates, makes excuses, doesn't attack. Lee escapes. Lincoln is absolutely furious, devastated.
I can imagine. What did he do?
He wrote this scathing letter to Meade, just letting him have it, pouring out all his anger and disappointment.
Did he send it?
No, that's the key. Meade never saw it. Lincoln wrote it, probably felt a bit better, then put it aside. He likely realized sending it would just make Meade defensive, maybe even force him to resign. It wouldn't actually help win the war. It would just cause more problems. He'd learned criticism doesn't work.
Wow. That's incredible self-control and wisdom, isn't it? Understanding the other person's reaction.
Exactly. Goes back to that idea. We're dealing with creatures of emotion, pride, vanity, not just logic.
So criticizing is easy. Any fool can do it, as Carnegie says.
Right. But understanding, forgiving, that takes character, self-control.
There's another great story about this. The test pilot, Bob Hoover.
No, the plane incident? Yeah, tell that one.
Okay, so Hoover's flying back from an air show. Suddenly both engines quit. Turns out a mechanic accidentally filled his propeller plane with jet fuel instead of gasoline.
Oh, no. That's bad.
Very bad. A plane badly damaged, could have killed 3 people. The mechanic is obviously devastated, sick about his mistake.
So what does Hoover do? Most people would explode, right?
You'd think. But Hoover doesn't yell, doesn't criticize at all. He puts his arm around the mechanic and says something like, to show you I know you won't do this again, I want you to service my F-51 tomorrow.
Wow. Instead of blame, he showed trust.
Yeah, exactly. Building responsibility through understanding, not fear. It's like Carlyle said, a great man shows his greatness by the way he treats little men.
So that's principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Powerful stuff.
Okay, so if we're not supposed to criticize, what should we do? How do you actually get someone to, do something?
That leads perfectly into the second principle.
Yeah.
Give honest and sincere appreciation.
Appreciation. Okay.
Carnegie argues there's really only one way under high heaven to get anybody to do anything. Just one.
And that is?
By making the other person want to do it, it has to come from their desire, not just yours.
Makes sense. He uses that fishing analogy, right?
Yeah. You don't bait the hook with strawberries and cream because you like them. You use worms because that's what the fish wants.
Huh. Good point. But we often just talk about what we want, don't we?
All the time. It's kind of childish, really. People care about what they want.
So this ties into a really deep human need.
Absolutely. John Dewey called it the desire to be important. William James called it the craving to be appreciated. Carnegie says it's almost as strong as the need for food or sleep, but it's seldom gratified.
Seldom gratified. That's interesting. This desire to feel important, appreciated, it drives a lot of behavior.
A huge amount. It's maybe the main thing that separates us from animals.
Yeah.
And people will go to incredible lengths to satisfy it, sometimes even tragic lengths.
Like what?
Well, becoming invalids, maybe. Or the theory that some people retreat into insanity, partly to find that feeling of importance in a fantasy world if they can't get it in reality. It shows how fundamental that need is.
Wow. So if people are that desperate for appreciation, giving it sincerely could have a huge positive impact.
Exactly. Think about Charles Schwab, first president of U.S. Steel, earned over $1 million a year, which was astronomical back then.
And it wasn't because he knew the most about steel, right?
Nope. He admitted others knew more. His big salary was for his ability to deal with people.
And his secret was appreciation.
His words. I consider my ability to arouse enthusiasm among my people the greatest asset I possess, and the way to develop the best that is in a person is by appreciation and encouragement. He said he never criticized. He was anxious to praise but loath to find fault. Hardy in my approbation and lavish in my praise.
But most people do the opposite, right? Quick to criticize, slow to praise.
Or never praise at all. Remember that little rhyme? Once I did bad, and that I heard ever. Twice I did good, but that I heard never. It's sadly true for many. Schwab really believed people do better work under approval than criticism. Always.
Rockefeller used appreciation too, even when someone made a massive mistake.
Yeah, his partner lost the firm $1 million on a bad deal. Instead of carrying into him, Rockefeller praised him for saving 60% of the investment. Said something like, "That's splendid. We don't always do that well upstairs." Imagine how that felt compared to getting yelled at.
Yeah, builds loyalty, not resentment.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it helps in relationships too, like with marriage.
Definitely. That study on why wives left, a major reason cited was simply a lack of appreciation. It sounds so basic, but it's crucial.
Like the story of the guy whose wife asked him to list 6 things she could improve.
Oh, right. Instead of listing faults, he sent her 6 red roses saying, "I can't think of 6 things I'd change. I love you the way you are."
And she was apparently almost in tears when he got home. That's the impact. Simple, but powerful.
It really is. And think about Stevie Wonder.
What about him?
Well, Paul Harvey told this story. When Stevie was a blind kid, Stevie Morris, in Detroit, a teacher asked him to use his amazing hearing to find a mouse in the classroom. She appreciated his unique skill.
Ah, okay.
And Stevie Wonder later said that moment, that first real appreciation for his ears, was the start of a new life for him. It validated his gift.
That's incredible. But wait, isn't this just flattery,
Yeah.
buttering people up?
Good question. Carnegie makes a clear distinction. Flattery is shallow, selfish, insincere. It's from the teeth out. Appreciation is honest, sincere, from the heart out. It's unselfish.
So it has to be genuine.
Absolutely. It's not about manipulation. It's about genuinely recognizing the good in others and expressing it. It's a whole different way of interacting. So principle 2, give honest and sincere appreciation.
Okay, don't criticize, give sincere appreciation. What's the third piece?
The third fundamental technique ties it all together. Arouse in the other person an eager want.
An eager want. What does that mean?
It means figuring out what the other person truly desires and connecting your goals to their desires. Henry Ford nailed it. He said, if there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own.
Seeing things from their perspective, again, sounds simple.
But so often ignored. Carnegie estimates 90% of people ignore this 90% of the time. We're just focused on what we want.
Right, like Emerson trying to force that calf into the barn. Push, pull, nothing works.
Until the housemaid comes along. She doesn't force it. She understands what the calf wants to suck on a finger and gently leads it in. It's about understanding the other's motivation.
So every action we take is because we want something.
Pretty much. Even donating to charity, Carnegie says, you do it because you want the feeling of helping, or maybe you want something else, but the action springs from your desire. So the key is to tap into the other person's desires.
First, arouse in the other person an eager want.
Exactly. As Harry Overstreet wrote, he who can do this has the whole world with him. He who cannot walks a lonely way. You need to align interests.
Carnegie himself used this, didn't he, with the hotel manager?
Oh, brilliant example.
Back.
His rent for the ballroom lectures was about to triple. Disaster for him.
So did he argue? Complain?
Nope. He went to the manager and started by seeing his point of view. Said, I don't blame you. I'd probably do the same. Your job is to make profit. Total empathy first.
Okay, then what?
Then he took out a paper and listed the advantages and disadvantages for the hotel of raising the rent so drastically.
Not his own advantages, but the hotel's.
Exactly. Advantage.
Ah.
They could rent the room for dances, make more money maybe.
Hmm.
Disadvantages: Carnegie would leave, they'd lose that income entirely, plus they'd lose the free advertising his educated audiences brought to the hotel.
So he framed it entirely around the manager's interests
Completely. He just laid out the pros and cons for the hotel and asked the manager to think about it.
and the result.
Rent increase was cut down to just 50%, not 300%. And Carnegie got that without ever saying, "but I want." He focused entirely on what the manager wanted and how his proposal helped the manager get it.
That's masterful. And it contrasts so much with, say, a typical sales letter that just talks about what the company wants.
Right, like that advertising agency letter example. Our company desires to maintain leadership. Who cares? The reader cares about their problems, their desires. It's such a common mistake.
So the practical takeaway here is pause before you ask someone to do something.
Pause and ask yourself, how can I make this person want to do it? What's in it for them? How does this align with their goals, their desires, their problems?
Like Stan Novak with his little son Tim, who didn't want to go to kindergarten.
Perfect example. Instead of forcing him, Stan and his wife thought, what would make kindergarten fun for Tim? They listed finger painting, songs, friends.
And then they made it seem exciting, started finger painting themselves.
Exactly. They created an eager want. They showed Tim what he was missing out on. Suddenly, Tim couldn't wait to go. No threats needed, just tapping into what a kid would find exciting.
It's about shifting your focus from your own wants to theirs.
That's the core of it. So the three fundamentals we've really dug into today. 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain.
2, give honest and sincere appreciation.
And 3, arouse in the other person an eager want.
They seem so straightforward, but living them, that's the challenge. But also where the real transformation happens, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. These aren't just tricks. They're fundamental shifts in how we interact. Based on understanding human nature, they move us from conflict towards cooperation.
Building bridges, like you said earlier, not walls. It's about genuine connection.
So maybe here's a thought to leave everyone with. If we really want to improve our lives, connect better, influence things positively, perhaps the first person we need to win over is ourselves.
How do you mean?
By actually committing to practice these principles. Applying them first to how we see ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, and then taking that understanding and, well, sharing that magic with the world. One genuine, appreciative, understanding interaction at a time.